and I'm your host of the Down to Earth podcast. Today, yep, I'm going to talk about some news, people. We live and direct. I know a lot of people been hearing about these charges or cases against many rappers, especially in America, but it's happening in different forms, different places. For example, you heard of Young Thug, right, and Gunna. They've been, they're in a lot of shit right now. They are getting prosecuted, or they want people want to prosecute them based off of their organization, right? And the people they're associated with. In certain cases, these guys are facing basically life imprisonment. Young Thug and Gunna. It starts with them, but it started before the hip hop police. This is the hip hop police that investigates in the industry, listens to your music and everything, right? So now these guys are locked up and it's coming soon to other people. There's I don't know what her title is, but there was a process, some type of I guess FBI agent who basically it's a female, and she's I think she's from Atlanta, and she's making it her case to take down these organizations or organization. We're gonna continue, but I'm gonna tell you what the RICO Act is, right? If I may, Racketeering Influence and Corrupt Organization Act. That's what it means, right? Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organization Act. That's what I'm telling you. The Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organization Act, RICO, of 1970 seeks to strengthen the legal tools in evidence gathering by establishing new penal prohibitions and providing enhanced sanctions and new remedies for dealing with unlawful activities of those engaged in organized crime. So they made this act or this new, you know, law to really target organized crime. Groups that are organized and they commit crimes against the government system, right? AKA, they got an organization called the FBI and other groups that's been fighting for this for years, right? Because a lot of organized crime groups been, you know, basically untouchable for so long, up until I think the 50s, right? They were like basically loose, doing whatever they want, basically until the 50s or late 50s, when they started to realize and they couldn't hide the mafia in America. To recent times now, any other organization doing illegal activities against the federal government will be getting a RICO charge, a case. And when the FBI, they say, comes after you, they win. They make sure their case is airtight. That's what I'm telling you, people, right? And now we have the hip hop police. What the hip hop police is, take this off. Forgot I ain't talking to nobody. What the hip hop police is a urban section of law to investigate um, urban music, aka hip hop or anything close to it, and the people who are working for it and benefit and making money from it. So now you have these people, many of them come from the streets, as people may say, and a lot of them are millionaires now with money, and they got people who they hire, as we call it, their brethren or the people are around them, and they employ them. So now they're making an organization. Any of these artists who have money, especially making millions, and they employ their own people, that's an organization now. So if you're doing illegal stuff against the government in their eyes, you fall under the act like the mafia. It's called organized crime. People have different names, different labels, however they want to call it, but this is what it is. It's organized crime, right? Started with the mafia, then now it's in cartels, anybody who's selling cocaine or anything what's illegal. Now, that's just talking about the RICO Act because that's going around to many entertainers right now. It hit, like I said, Young Thug. Young Thug got that, excuse me. Young Thug and Gunna. And there's rumor there's more. Like right now, you're hearing a famous, social media influencer. He's basically saying that Lil Baby should get ready because if they're gonna investigate him next and if they're gonna drop a RICO on him, he's going to court against them. I don't know what beef they have, but academics wants Little Baby locked up, right? It's like this Charleston White guy. It makes me wonder, is this guy agent? Not saying he is, but the way how he's acting, you would think he's working for the hip hop police. He's like one of the top directors because by making a lot of these artists ruffling their feathers by calling out their names and saying that they're this and that, that makes some people who don't know better react, right? And once they react, he got these people with him. Remember that. He got these people with him. So you should realize that. So anybody who acts up, they're watching. Lil Boozy, he's smart. He says he doesn't want no part of him. No part of him. And Lil Boozy, he's a big, like big on talking, right? You see him on Vlad all the time talking about different situations. And now he doesn't want to talk about Charleston White. Don't blame him. I'm hearing this guy got many people locked up. I don't know if it's true, but got people locked up. This guy does his homework. He knows who he's dealing with, and the people who have maybe they're on probation or they got cases. He's probably targeting. Look, Ti. He's been having this big beef with Ti for a while now. Ti probably he doesn't have a clean record. I don't know if he's still on probation for a couple of things what he has done. There's rumors of other things, but let's not get into that too much. And then Meek Mill just came out of jail, so he's not gonna really fight with anybody. He's not gonna threaten anybody, right? Um, some of these rappers have cases against them, or maybe they have something he knows that they're hiding, and they're not gonna really, mess with him too much. So remember, hip hop police. I could say this now because from Toronto, straight. A lot of rappers got to be careful speaking online, talking about certain beefs and certain issues because they're watching, right? So this is my thing because people want to say free this person and free up this person. Even the mafia will say this. People in the mafia, organized crime. If you get caught with something, you got caught. I don't know if people understand that. If you got caught with something, you got caught unless somebody framed you, right? It says you do the this the old you do the crime, you serve the time. Like even if you might not think these drugs or whatever you have is a crime in your eyes, it's a crime in the federal government's eyes. It is a crime for the government to see all these things. So you do the crime, you serve the time. People are saying free up this person and free up that person. Free for what? You put yourself in that situation, man. And if you're an artist and you're a person who wants a career in the music business, stay away from that, right? It's hard because if you are so-called big, a lot of people put themselves out there like they're big, like they're these big artists, right? You shouldn't have to be doing certain things to live. And we know it's a lie. A lot of people lie about, what like in their raps, but I'm just saying, that you're around drugs, even if you're not selling it, as long as you are around it, you put yourself in that situation, right? You put yourself in that situation if you surround yourself with individuals who selling drugs, right? So don't, like, people, I hope people get more knowledge and do more research before you start cheerleading for these people. Yes, we love their music. We love these artists. Oh, yes. But their lifestyle, right? I'm not going to judge it, but like if you have a record of always going to jail, haven't you learned? I'm not going to feel sorry for you. If it's your first time, yes. Yeah, if it's your first time, I understand that. But no, man, it doesn't work like that. Yeah, we live on IG, down to earth. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. I don't understand people who think it works like that. Nothing works like that, man. So you do the crime, right? You do the time, or you do the crime, you pay, right? Because if you, that's another thing. You want to be like the mafia and organized crime. All these guys, I guarantee the main thing, they have a lawyer. These guys make sure you always have to have a lawyer. It's part of probably the MO. You have to have a lawyer. Even though some of these guys have gotten locked up, many of these guys never see no day in jail because they got a lawyer, right? So, I'm not saying these rappers don't have lawyers, but you need that if you're gonna even be doing illegal shit. If you're gonna do drugs, even if you're a drug dealer, if you're a criminal, the best investment, I'm not promoting it, but your best investment better be a lawyer. You should have a lawyer. So then you could get that charge dropped or less. That's what organized crime does, right? Now, this Racketeering and Influence and Corrupt Organization Act, it's big. It's a big thing, man. Like, they're not joking. When the FBI goes after you, they don't joke, right? It's like bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Yeah, and that's what's going on. Even in Toronto right now, right? It is going on big time. Yo, people, subscribe to the channel, man. Subscribe to the channel. The link, right? And more content is coming. Right now, I'm live right now, live and direct on YouTube, live, right? I want you guys to subscribe to the channel because that helps, that supports us, and we could keep doing more content, better content for you. But yeah, back to this. That's a wrap. Now, when you have all these cases against you, how you think that's gonna, is that helping you for your career? Are you gonna be going far with your career? I don't know, man. Like you can't even travel because you have a case. Like especially from the hometown, local town. Like I don't know how much platforms are drilling it in certain people's heads, but stay away from that. If you have a record, I'm talking a criminal record, not a hit record, which you should have a hit record instead of a criminal record. If you have a record, good luck. Like you're just gonna be a local artist. That's the most you're gonna be. You're not going anywhere. It's like you might as well not. It's kind of discouraging, but it's almost like you might as well not even do nothing because the whole key to this is to be successful in the industry. And how could you be successful in the industry and you can't travel anywhere? You can't get a you can't have a there's no doesn't make no sense to have a passport because you can't go nowhere. A lot of you need to wake up, man. You live in a fantasy. You want to be like these gangsters you watch in the movies, and it's not gonna be like that. See, Racketeering, Influence, and Corrupt Organization Act. That RICO is hitting them in America. So if you want something similar like that to happen here, better be careful because remember, Bell and Rogers. That's why. See, when we say media, it's media. I used to always watch the media. People could say good or bad news, or whatever, fake news. But this is what's true, right? Rogers and Bell, they have a deal with the police, the Ontario Provincial Police, and the Toronto police that they could go into their system and check the social media even more deeper of all these people who are on social media, especially associated with criminal organizations. And that's how they're going to take you down too, right? With the phone. Your phone, what you use. Because you know, most of these guys all have cell phones. And you're all on social media, so they know your IP address too. So let me read this now. What racketeering? This is from the American artist, but this is what's going to happen here in UK. They're doing something already. Let me read this again. The Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organization Act (RICO) was created in 1970. Seeks to strengthen the legal tools and evidence gathering by establishing a new penal prohibition and providing enhanced sanctions and new remedies for dealing with the unlawful activities of those engaged in organized crime. Whew. So they don't joke. RICO is mostly targeted to these big organized crime groups who have been around almost 100 years, you could almost say, right? And these cartels, what deal in hundreds of millions, if not billions. And you, little rapper, who only make barely some millions, want to involve yourself, right? Because, I have to admit, you want more money. You want to be like that big kingpin, right? So you still involve yourself with illegal activities. And when they hit you with that, you're going to get the same hit that these other organized crime groups have gotten. Recently, they're trying to charge, correct me if I'm wrong, I swear they're trying to charge like ASAP Rocky, who he's associated and his group or whoever he's associated with something like this. Like they're going around all through hip hop, searching. They're searching for whoever is doing associating themselves with organized crime groups. They're looking at Future right now. Don't know if it's true, but I've been seeing that Future. They're saying Little Baby. Those are the two next. Man, I hope it's not true. I really hope it's not true because if it's true, they're coming for both of you. They're coming for both of you like Gunna and Young Thug. Imagine you have friggin' Future locked up and Little Baby. Those are the other two right now. Like Future's still relevant. He's big. He's huge. And Little Baby's huge. Take those two guys away. That's a those four now. That's a perfect example. You got Future, Little Baby, um, Gunna, and Young Thug. Those are like the top four artists coming out of that region. Yeah, man, it's going down, but it ain't going down to earth. It's gonna be going somewhere else where Gunna and Young Thug is the cell, and that's a wrap. That's a wrap. Why people are worried about being so gangster and not having a hit record instead of a criminal record? I think the energy is in the wrong places many of the time. Like hip hop, and we have all these subgenres around, but it's not good now. Like trap, for example. No, not trap. Okay, trap's there. Let me talk about this drill music because that's the main thing. What's going on now? This drill music, right? I know in England they've been taking off videos offline, YouTube, right? For a while, they're kind of boycotting it, the government. So you're hearing about New York doing this too. They're coming down on drill music. Want to know what drill music is? Okay, I'm going to give the internet definition of what drill music is. I could tell you, but let me tell you. Drill is a subgenre of hip hop music that originated in Chicago streets in the early 2010s. It's sonically similar to trap music, a subgenre, and lyrically. Hmm, let's see what's the lyrically. We're going to go more deep into this. This is the internet definition of drill music. Let me read it again. Drill is a subgenre of hip hop music that's originated in Chicago streets in the early 2010s. It's sonically similar to trap music subgenre and lyrically similar to the gangster rap subgenre. So that it's basically a baby of those genres. Drill music progressed in American mainstream circa 2012, following success of rappers like Chief Keef, Lil Durk, Lil Reese, Fredo Santana, G Herbo, King Louis, and later King Von. You know, King Von is very popular drill rapper. He's one of the last, right? King Von, who had many local fans and significant internet presence alongside producer Young Chop Media. Young Chop, I know Young Chop from Chicago. Media attention and signing of drill musicians to major labels followed. Artists within the genre have been noted for their style of lyricism and association with crime in Chicago. And it goes to other places, right? Because there's Pop Smoke who died not too long ago, recently from this. A regional subgenre UK drill emerged in okay, it's a regional subgenre, but it's going to Europe. That's how big it got, right? A regional subgenre of UK drill emerged in London, particularly in the district of Brixton. Yeah, I know a Brixton, right? Beginning in 2012, UK drill rose to the prominence by mid 2012 and has influenced other regional scenes such as Australian Spanish, Irish, Dutch Brooklyn drill, reintroduced to Brooklyn in the late 2010s, whatever. But I know that it's big in Brooklyn. It's big in the UK and everywhere. But drill was created by a guy in Chicago that had a popular song, right? And he referred to like what we call drill, like a real drill to the gun, right? There's all these things about it, man. There's a whole bunch of history about it. But I'm not going to talk and read the whole thing about it because I'm just going to go straight to the point. That these subgenres just bring more attention to the music. There was something called gangster music. And gangster music, which is gangster rap, let me just say more gangster rap, was a subgenre of hip hop from artists who really relate to the streets. So people have to get this correct. There's hip hop, right? I'm going to say this one time. There's hip hop and there's subgenres within hip hop, like how rock has punk and it has metal and all these other things. So there's hip hop and these subgenres in it, because there's Christian hip hop and all different types of genres. But this is what I'm gonna say: gangster rap was the guys who are really associated with the streets and if not gangs, and they could speak on stories of themselves or other people, right? That wasn't all hip hop, or if people get confused, hit rap. That wasn't all of it. So now they have something called drill or trap. In a way, it's a good thing because at least you separate who's doing what. So if you're a drill rapper, okay, you're I might not support it, but you're doing that type of rap. It might be more aggressive. If you're a trap, you're doing that type of rap. So you're rapping about more like drugs or whatever, like you know. So hip hop now is not none of that. Hip hop is a culture. It's things what you do too. It's not just the music. Hip hop is turntables. That's not in trap. That's not in drill. Hip hop is graffiti. That's not in trap. That's not in drill. Hip hop is breakdancing. That's not in trap. That's not in drill. Hip hop is something that you celebrate the MC. They're not doing any of those things. But the only thing what they're doing similar to hip hop is just the actions, the tool of word play, and maybe some production. That's it. But remember, there's sub genres. That's very important. People, I think that's the confusion in a lot of conversations. We need to start to separate certain things, like how rock done it. There's rock, there's metal. Some people put them all together, right? There's punk, there's thrash. The list keeps going. Soft rock. So it's not all, it's rock and roll, but they have subgenres. No different than hip hop and other like dance music and house music and techno, and you get what I mean? They're all from the same family, but it's other genres. Let's not get confused. So those genres right now, are they helping hip hop? Or are they helping the culture? Are they helping the people? Or is it just putting a target on our backs or your back? My opinion is putting a target on your back. If you wanted me to read a little bit more about this drill, because people don't really know what drill, some people don't know what drill is. So, the characteristics of drill. The lyrics of drill tend to be violent, very gritty, right? The Guardian's Lucy Stelhike said, Neophilic drill reflects real life, where its squeaky clean hip hop counterparts have failed. Let me say this correctly, if this is clear. Don't know who this person is. But the lyrics of drill tend to be violent and very gritty. The Guardian's Lucy Stellick, don't know who this person is, said, drill reflects real life where it's squeaky, where hip hop is squeaky clean and has failed. Drill lyrics strongly contrast with the subject matter of early Chicago rappers. Contemporary mainstream hip hop, which at the time of drill's emergence tend to glorify and celebrate the rise of wealth. So they're saying when drill was coming up, as it came up, hip hop as we know it was celebrating wealth, more positive stuff. So they had, no, they don't want that. We don't want to just talk about money because maybe they don't have no money. No, we got to talk about some fucking killing shit, right? So because hip hop started to get more corporate, right? More successful. And remember, gangster rap was dead for a while. The last gangster rapper, I would say, was 50 Cent. Much respect to other people, but I say the last popular commercial gangster rapper was 50 Cent. And after that, after his that era, all that gangster shit never became commercialized again. That's why people like the game. Much respect to the game. He does gangster music, and that's not commercial. He came out with an album recently. Great album, great album. One of the best albums I heard for hip hop in a long time. But because he's doing real gangster shit, like I mean, not necessarily on the streets, but I mean, he's telling the stories, right? And he's really from those sections. Ain't gonna be. It's not commercialized. It's not popular anymore. It's not popular. So the drill rappers are the gangster rappers. So people like Flock, Flocka, or whatever, Young Flock, he's locked up. People like what's his name again? Pop Smoke passed away. Sorry to see that. And there's many others. There's a whole bunch of drill rappers. They're out there, but they're not getting the spotlight like you see because it's like a way of shadow banning them in a way. But they're there. They're popular. People know who they are, right? Like I said, Chief Keef is like the godfather of it. A lot of those Chicago rappers are the godfather. King Louis, I listened to King Louis a long time. Young Chop is one of the biggest producers of trap, of not trap. See, people get confused. Drill music. You know what I mean? Drill music now is very big in Brooklyn and the Bronx. Very big, but they're blaming it for a lot of the violence between like the gangs because drill music and a lot of times they're using it for like a message. You get what I mean? It's like a subliminal message. I don't know how subliminal they could get because they talk about basically shooting you right in your head and all those type of things, right? But it's basically a subliminal message back and forth. If you follow Chicago's hit, like not necessarily, you can't blame the music for all this violence, but it's always been violent. But if you follow Chicago's drill scene, you know how much rappers have died from just doing music? It's crazy. Just look it up on YouTube. Look up a documentary of Chicago rappers, especially the recent ones with this drill stuff. A lot of them have died back and forth over the music. That's why you have like Lil Durk don't live in Chicago. He lives like in Atlanta, I think. And that's why you have Chief Keef. He don't live in Chicago. He lives in LA. And I'm pretty sure anybody who's successful from Chicago, they're out. You get what I mean? They're not around. They're out of here. So I don't know, man. It's just crazy. And that's a wrap, man. That's a wrap for you all. Down to Earth podcast. Subscribe to our channels. The link in the bio. Don't be a hater, be a participator. If you want to see more content, I will come on like this, or I'll be down to earth with my brothers, Stone and P, Rastafari Samurai. That's how we doing it. D2E. Bless up to everybody.